Hey, this is DJ Dave. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. This is just a quick video to have a look at what should be done at 3 weeks out and what to do from here. So by now you should have had a bit of a chat with your groom about exactly what you two are going to do with any intimate time that you two have together, just the two of you on the day. If you haven't done that yet, the easiest way to make that happen is to just organise a little bit of a date night. So set aside a time, it only needs to be an hour or two, but to really sit down and go, this is how the day's going to go, and this is the special time that you and I are going to have just the two of us together, just to make time and really touch base and just get present to exactly what's going on. The second thing that should be organised by now is that the celebrant should know everything The second thing that should have been done by now is the celebrant should be fully settled on everything that's happening during the ceremony. If you're not confident that your celebrant's at the point where they could run the ceremony today, then the easiest way to get around this is to send them an email. Attach the order of service and ask them to review the order of service, and also ask them to report back to you on the progress of your legals. When they come back to you with that email, it will demonstrate to you whether they're on track. The third thing that should be done by now is your RSVPs should all be in. The venue is going to be asking for final numbers very shortly, so the easiest way to catch up your RSVPs and get a lot of them back fast if people haven't responded is to send out email and text blasts to every single person who hasn't RSVP'd and inform them that you need to know within 24 hours if they're coming or not for seating and catering purposes. This doesn't feel like a nag because this is indicating that it's coming from the venue and not from you. So if you've done that, you're on track, and that's great news. So I want to take the time to talk to you now about two very important concepts. The first is your go-to, and the second is your rockstar bubble. Now, I want to share a story with you first, which is a wedding that I went to, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was still there with the bride and groom cleaning up the hall. There were 120 people at that wedding, and all 120 of those people would have been happy to stay behind, but the bride and groom didn't want to impose. They were absolutely insistent that they would be running the wedding from start to finish, and they made sure that they stayed right to the end and made sure that everything was absolutely perfect. Now, what that meant for the bride and groom was they weren't fully present on the day, and secondly, they were exhausted at 4 o'clock in the morning on their wedding day. For me, that's not an ideal result. Now, if you want to get around this scenario and you want to be fully present and engaged on your wedding day, listen up, because I'm going to introduce you to two key concepts which are absolutely fundamental to you having a fantastic day and being able to be right there with your guests from start to finish. The first concept to think about is your go-to person. Now, this person is you on the day. What you need to do is find a person who you trust to be you organising the day on the day. So on the day, you don't need to be organising the day. This person in the band scene is called a manager. They basically act as your representative and make sure that everything on the day is executed exactly to your wishes. The first fundamental to success in this regard is your go-to person, an effective delegation of your manifest to a person who will manage the day for you. Now, this is a necessity because on the day, there's two things that need to be done that can only be done by you. The first is you need to be completely present for your guests. The second thing is you need to be coordinating all of the helpers and the suppliers to make sure that the day runs smoothly. Now, you can't do those two things at once successfully. No one can. So you need to choose a person who is going to become organising you on the day. They are actually you in your organising frame of mind, and the way that you do that is you find an organised person that you trust and you delegate your manifest to them so that they can be in your position on the day and say, I am the bride, how do I want this to happen? And make sure that that side of the day is happening for you so that you don't have to do that. The second thing I want to talk to you about is a thing that I've mentioned in a few previous videos called your rockstar bubble. So if you've successfully delegated your manifest to this go-to person who's going to manage the day for you, you can actually enter quite a special space where you know exactly your vision of the day is going to be flowing for you on the day, and you just get to be in that space and be present for all of your guests. This rockstar bubble is something to start moving into around about 2 to 3 days before the wedding. After that point, you want your go-to person to manage everything logistically that happens so that you can be fully present in that space on the day. Now, what is the surest way to make sure that you've got an empowered go-to person to manage on the day and that you can easily and comfortably enter that rockstar bubble with your groom? The number one opportunity for doing this well is on your rehearsal dinner. If you've got a complete manifest, which you've briefed out to your go-to person, they can manage at the rehearsal dinner. and it sends a message to every single person at that dinner that the logistical organizer on the day is not you, it's your go-to person. If that person takes charge at the rehearsal dinner, and every single person who's helping on the day that is key to success understands that they're in charge and trust that person, your work is done and you can step back and relax and really enjoy your wedding day. I hope that's a useful insight for you. A lot of people don't realise the extent to which you can make your day perfect by delegating in this way. I hope that's been some useful food for thought and for action for you. I hope your preparations go well from here. This is David Bartholomew. Thanks so much for tuning in.